Why is it that I always forget just how fun this is? Hey everyone, it's Sam here, and today I thought I would revisit the shrink plastic technique. I've had a lovely morning creating these very, very cute embellishments using my newest stamp set. If you've never tried shrink plastic before, I highly recommend it. I already have a video which I made I think 4 or 5 years ago. I will link that up here. So if you want to see how you can make something very similar, keep watching. Okay, so I've got my piece of shrink plastic here. I don't actually have that much left. This one here is frosted on one side and shiny on the other. I'm going to stamp on the shiny side and then I'm going to colour on the frosted side. This will allow my pencils to grip really nicely. But there's other shrink plastics on the market. There's loads. You can get white ones, clear ones, ones that are shiny on both sides. Some you can just die cut and then just colour in. You might not be stamping with an outline. Whatever ones you have, read the instructions on them and just have a play with them, experiment. You never know, you might discover something else that you really like. So I've got my Stays On ink here. You want something that is going to stick to the surface and dry. You can stamp on the frosted side, but you'll probably get a bleed and you won't get a really crisp outline image. So I've got my stamping blocks here. I'm not going to be using my stamping platform because what you'll find is if you're stamping multiple images all at once, and when you go to lift your stamping platform lid, the likelihood is this is going to shift, and then trying to line up again is probably not going to happen. Whereas if you use your acrylic blocks here, you're probably going to get a really good image first time. And if you don't, if it's on the shiny side, just spray with a little bit of rubbing alcohol and you can clean the whole surface again and start from scratch, so you won't waste any. You probably won't be able to do that so much on the frosted side. We'll probably just end up staining. I've re-inked this pad. I would recommend a nice juicy ink pad. You don't want something that's dry because it will stick when you lift this off. But I think, yeah, that looks pretty good. So I've got This Room Hugs Me. I've got Craft, Eat, Sleep, Repeat. So you don't want to push so much that you squash the sentiment, but you do want to get a nice even transfer. That's really good. So I'm hoping these are still going to read well when they shrink down. I've not done sentiments before. The shrink plastic will shrink your image by 7 times smaller than the original size. So obviously some of these are going to be really dinky. But like I said, check out my earlier video and you can see the size stamps that I use and how small those ones shrink down to. But they have come out really clear. But like I said, we'll see how they actually end up looking once I've applied the heat. So for the images, this is the set I'm using, the Paper Crafting Fun stamp and die set. And a lot of these images are images from my Made to Surprise range. So that's why I want to feature them on my storage that I'm making, so I get to look at them and enjoy them every day. So I'm going to stamp the rest of those on here and then I'm just going to give it some time to dry. So it's now the next day. I wanted to leave the Stays On to dry overnight. That way I know it's not going to go anywhere. And then on the reverse, I've already started to colour in using my coloured pencils. I was a little bit dubious actually to see how they would have, you know, taken, but they're really good. And remember, when this shrinks, the colour does intensify. So it looks pretty, you know, good now. It should become even more colourful when that shrinks. So I thought I would colour one last one with you just so you can see the process. So I'm going to do the little trimmer here, and I'm just going to colour in the ruler here. Excuse my fingers there, I've been doing a lot of crafting, so I've got some ink stained on my finger there. So I'm just going to colour, I think I'll colour all under that part actually, all under here, because that piece is kind of clear. And I'll colour that in as well. And then I'm just going to go in with a little bit of a darker orange there. And I'm just going to leave the rest, I think. So now if I flip that over, you can see a little bit of the darker orange and that lighter colour coming through. I think that's going to shrink down really nicely. So next you want to cut them out. So a few things to mention. If you want to have your images as a dangle, so if I do this one as an example, it's very easy to cut. I'm just going to come up a little bit higher there. And then just take your hole punch. You don't need the big bite. This is just what I've got at hand. I'm going to put it on the smaller setting, and I'm going to punch a hole just at the top there, and then just start cutting around. I'm leaving a little border. You can cut right up to the line if you want, but then when you get to this part, go around the hole punch, back down. Mine are going to be all embellishments stuck on the storage that I'm going to be making. But bear in mind, it will shrink down again. Obviously that hole will get smaller, but you can keep something in it as you shrink it down. And also you could open up the hole a bit more anyway when that does shrink down. But yeah, just to show you how you want to, if you do want to turn it into a dangle, that's what you need to do. But I'm just going to remove that. So that's one cut. So I'm going to get all of these cut, and then we can start melting them. So that's everything cut out. So I've got my glass mat here. You want something that's going to be able to withstand the heat, because you're going to be blasting a lot of heat onto the images to melt them. So do bear in mind the surface that you're working on. Make sure it's, you know, you don't want to damage your nice dining room table or a lovely desk that you've got. Heat tool, you want to make sure it gets nice and hot, and you want something that you can hold. Put them into the white space here, actually, something that you can hold the image in place, because it's going to move around. Now, I will talk over the heat tool when it's on, but it'll be a bit louder. This is going to really scrunch up, and you're going to think you've ruined it, but you have to just keep applying that heat on it until it flattens or opens back up again. So I'm going to show you a couple doing the full process, and then I'm just going to whiz through all of the others. So actually I'll use the bigger image here. So I'll use the craft mat. I'm going to get the tool heated up. Okay, so I'm just going to stick this in the middle. So I'm just going to hold this in the middle for now and start applying my heat. And pretty quickly you can see it all starting to melt. And you want to get that heat distributed evenly. Now this is the point where you're probably thinking, oh my god, it's ruined, but just keep it there, keep going. Grab some tweezers. I just want to melt the middle there a bit more. Now that is not going to go anymore. That's not going to melt anymore. So I'm going to flip it over and carefully, because you don't want to burn yourself, apply some pressure to it just to keep it flat. And then I'm just going to use something that's a bit heavy just to stick on top there, just so it stays flat. Now I have got a little mark there where I probably pushed too far down with my pokey tool. So I'll just move that around a bit more. It's been a while since I've done this, so we'll try it again. That is just adorable, but it gives you an idea of how small these are going to be. And I knew it was going to be this small because I was playing around with some earlier. Okay, so with this one, I'm probably going to put the pokey tool like that. I've got some tweezers here as well, so if I need to, I can hold it that way. So again, heat tool on. Keep going, don't panic. Right, it's not going to get any smaller, so again I'm just going to pop that on there to keep it flat. Now this looked like it got a bit of blue on it. Oh yeah, it did. I'm just going to scrape off a little bit of blue, and there you have a very cute little scoreboard. So we've got our scoreboard, we've got our craft mat. I'll do the this one with you, and then I'm going to go and whiz through the rest. These, like I said, are going to be so small, so we'll see. That's the cutest little trimmer, but can you see the colour, how much darker it is? I love the sound of them as well. These are going to look so nice because I'm going to have them kind of layered up on the front of some of my storage, or it's probably going to be my desk caddy. So these will all be decorated on the front. So I'll do the sentiment actually as well. See how that one shrinks down. Okay, I think this is my favourite so far. That is the cutest little sign. I love this. I'm having so much fun. I'm easily pleased. Right, I'm definitely now going to whiz through all these and then I'll show you them when I've finished. Okay, so there is everything done. Oh my goodness, these are the cutest. I am in love. Why do I forget how good this is to do? I'm going to be getting some more shrink plastic because I'm now out. Love the size. Look at this one. And it came out well because I did say I was a bit unsure if you're going to be able to read that, but look, you can make little badges. These would be amazing earrings if I go to a craft show. I've got the little, I went back over that because I had that. I definitely recommend laying your piercing tool or something over rather than poking it in. So I went over and added a bit more heat and I just managed to smooth that out a bit. But how I'm going to be using these, I'm not too worried about things like that because I'm going to layer a few up like this one here. Where I laid that across, it's lifted some of the black image, you know, detail of the image. But, you know, I plan to have a few little, I like to call them clusters, so something like that. And then I could easily just have that kind of stuck, you know. So it is, yeah, it's still going to work for me. This room hugs me. Look at the cutest. I've got to do the accent glaze now. You'll see that. But that's the quick grab glue. And the writing shows up. These are brilliant. I'm definitely going to be doing more. So I'm glad I revisited this. Those of you that were saying I need to use my shrink plastic with these, thank you, because I've thoroughly enjoyed this. So hopefully anybody new to this, this is giving you some inspiration and you know, give it a go. Let me know. As always, you can share anything that you have made or done following my tutorials over on the Facebook group, Mixed Up Crafters. It's a fantastic little community. Well, I say little, there's quite a lot of people in there now, but it's a lovely place. And yeah, look out for the storage that I'm going to be sharing very soon, because I know lots of you like the storage that I put out there. And oh, can you imagine little scoreboard earrings? Right, I'm going to stop because yeah, I've got other things to get on with now, but I've thoroughly enjoyed doing this. Hope you like it too. I will have the older video coming up here. Make sure you subscribe, then you won't miss out on future videos. And like I said, the storage, and coming up here will be links to the stamps that I've used, and I'll have listed below some of the shrink plastic as well. Take care, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.